my name is Ryan, and we've had a request to show my toolboxes, and I know that people have seen them and are interested in seeing what I got. And a little backstory, I've been an automotive mechanic all my life, and almost 27 years, and all this don't happen overnight, so just keep that in mind. It's years and years and years of buying tools. Wipers, got a Blue Point bolt tray, comes off a snap-on, and this is my snap-on toolbox. Another toolbox, another side locker, another snap-on toolbox, and this is a Blue Point roll cart, and I put the snap-on thing on there to make it match the other one. But we're going to start over here, and we'll get back to this. And we're going to start over here. This is where most of the money gets made out of. And I guess we'll start over here. Can you see good? Mm-hmm. As you know, I like Mac tools. And this is a bit set. And it comes with all the bits that you can imagine. It's pretty handy. And if y'all want to know the number to that, it is SD60KL. Pretty good to have. And this one's another Mac set. And this is torque bits, Allen keys. And the part number on that one is SMKVHT50B. And this, at my old shop, we had a contest of who made the most money in a month, and I won this. My boss gave it to me, which they're pretty cool. They're Torx drivers. I'm pretty sure they're for like working on motorcycles or something. And I'll be honest with you, I've never used them. But anyways, I usually use these that you can put on a socket. Anyways, I got big pry bars. I think that's a 4-footer. That's sort of like the next size up, and these are Mac. The brake pedal release tool so you can check brake lights. And the good old trusty transmission extension. If you ever work on cars, you absolutely need one of these. It goes from 5 3/8 to 1/2 inch. And this gets all the bell housing bolts out. And this is a hood prop, used to be a cane. My lovely dog wanted to chew it up one day, but I still keep it. These are all wheel lock keys. And no, I didn't take them from no one. These come out of cars that were going to the scrapyard. Or I bought them. Like this one I bought, that one I bought, that one I bought, and that one I bought. The rest of these were going to the scrapyard. That's a battery cleaning tool. So is that. And this is a North Star water pump tool socket for water pumps on a Cadillac. And this is a screwdriver torque wrench, which you don't never need unless you do electrician stuff. And these are my snap-on 3/8 sockets. They go from 8 to 21. These are some stubby Mac Allen keys.
So why are the snap-on like this, like in color, and these don't discolor?
Well, these are impact sockets, and these are not impact sockets. You're supposed to use these with a ratchet, and you can use these on a gun like that. And these are just some more random Allens and torque sockets. These are the snap-on adapters. These are more torque bits. And these are triple squares. These actually come from Napa. They're Carlisle's, which in my opinion are the best. And these are all spark plug sockets. These are strip sockets. You can see that they're we're taking strip bolts out, and these are lifesavers. I got them in shallow and deep. And then these are just 3/8 wobble heads. If you ever do transmissions, you need these. And then these are the short snap-on wobble sockets. And then these are Mac wobble sockets, but in standard. And most of car stuff is metric nowadays, but if you work on old stuff, you need the standard sockets as well. And these are Mac Experts standard. And I got the shorts as well. These are long spark plug sockets. You need them in the overhead cam vehicles. And these are distributor sockets to get behind the distributor. And then these are 1/2" deep chromies. And these are 1/2" impacts. And I got the short and the long, short and the long. And all these are standard. All these are metric. And I don't really feel like you need the standard in these. Like, this is my standard sizes. You don't see I have too many of those.
So really, you just use the standard and the smaller stuff.
Yes, and these are also standard Mac Export wrench sockets, but they're in 3/8. I got the shorts and the longs. And these are 1/2" metric wobbles. And these are all axle nut sockets. This is the infamous Honda crank bolt socket, which you need that. It is the 19mm. And it looks like that. And it weighs about 5 pounds. And if you get any Hondas with a crank bolt that won't come off, this is your key to doing it. This and the big snap-on is your best friend. And then these are K5 axle nuts for the bearings in the front axles on straight axles. And these are for Dodge, the 44 for the axles. And this is the Toyota axle nut socket. And then the rest of these are just axle nut sockets for CB axles. Those are for some Mercedes axle nut sockets. They're special torques. They look like torques, but they're not. And these, you can see they're kind of funky looking. That's an oil pressure sensor socket. And I got another one of those. You have to have those to take the oil pressure sensor unit off of a car. These are O2 sensor sockets, which I have the snap-on version. which I'll be honest with you, this one don't work too good. This one is the bee's knees when it comes to O2 sensors. And I also got another one, but
You obviously like this so much you got them twice.
actually these are different sizes.
Okay. Yep, sure.
And then the 1/2-inch swivels, I got that in impact and chrome. Now, over here, this right here is the best impact screwdriver in the world. If you're going to get an impact screwdriver, do not get snap-on. They'll break the bits every time you use them, and Mac is the way to go. You can beat on these things and they will not break. I've had this one for probably 12 years and you can't even tell I used it. Barely tell. And this is the Blue Point lug nut socket set. You got the socket and then the twist for the stripped ones on the other side. They call them flip sockets. They stick like this or like this. And then you got more axle nut sockets. You know, you got a 22 and 19. But we won't go through all of them. I got a whole slew of those. And if you ever do heated cores, this thing is the bee's knees on heated cores. If you ever done heated cores, you know what I'm talking about. And we're going to go to the next drawer. And then this one is my wrench drawer. I got some Blue Point ratchet wrenches. And more Blue Point ratchet wrenches. This is the stubbies, this is the longs, these are just randoms. These are crow feet. Those are handy for power steering hoses. These are my Mac metric wrenches. These are slim wrenches. If you can see how slim they are.
Oh, that's really thin.
They're to get into really tight spots. These will save your life sometimes. These are Mac line wrenches. It's the same as these, but they're wrenches. But these work better. And then these are Torx wrenches. If you ever work on Mercedes-Benz, you'll have to have these. They're really, really handy. And these are also Mac. And over here is the Mac standard wrenches. They're really nice. And these are more Mac ratchet wrenches. They're the wobbles. And then I got the Mac standard. They're metric, but they're not flex heads. And then I got the big Bertha flex head ratchet wrenches. These work really good on BMWs when you're doing the suspension. Like the A-arms in the front, if you don't have one of these, you'll sit there all day on one bolt. And if you ever worked on any Oldsmobiles, that is to get to the thermostat bolt underneath the exhaust Y pipe. Very handy tool. And these are for hydraulic cylinders to take the cap off. This one needs oiled, but that's what unscrews the cap to do the reseals on the hydraulic cylinders. And then this is just random pliers
And cutters.
Snap ring pliers. Got those too. And this is the hose clamp, you know, for cars on the hose, radiator hoses. That comes in real handy.
Didn't we use this when we were doing the timing on the 4Runner
Probably, but I don't remember.
to pull that grenade pin?
I don't remember. And then this is my ratchet drawer. I got assortment of snap-on ratchets. I like snap-on ratchets. I got the big guys. I got a couple torque wrenches, snap-on, 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 snap-on. These are little sticks when people lock themselves out of their cars in the parking lot. This is a homemade tire tool to get the spare tire off when people lose their stuff. And this is the you're in trouble drawer. This is the rethreader kit for F-150s because they like to blow the spark plug out. And this is a spring-loaded Mac punch kit, which is really handy. I really like these. And then dial calibers. There's electronic drill bits. This is a snap-on cap and die set. You know, plain Jane, not the big one. But I've never had a need for the big one, so save y'all some money and buy the small one. But you're not really saving any money when you buy that, just the same. This is the easy out kit to get broken studs out and stuff when you break them. And these are for the taps, they're tappet ratchets. And I got the small one, the big one, and the long one. And an extra big one. And then this is the nut buster that you gotta take off a bolt that's rusted. You just pop that in there, screw that in there, and it breaks it off. And then the Mac code burr tools that stick in the little air grinders. And this is the belt tool. When you don't have a tensioner, you put that on top of the pulley and it puts the belt on. And that's a stud installer for your wheel studs. And then this is the Impious electrical drawer. I kind of specialize in electrical stuff, so I have a lot of this stuff. I have my plug multimeter, which is the best in the world. I don't care what anybody says. I've had that one for like 13 years. The Blue Point scanner. The Mac short finder. That's really handy sometimes. And then the rest of it is just a lot of, you know, electrical stuff. I won't go through everything. Heat gun, and then spark plug testers, Mac snap light, test light, and another spark tester. And these are really cool relay on and off switches. You take the relay out and you can cut the circuit on manually. I got the whole set of those. And then these are injector testers. They're called Noid lights. I got the whole set of those. And just random, you know, electrical stuff, different connectors, spare multimeter leads. This is pretty cool. You can put this on a coil pack and see if it's firing without even taking a bolt off. That's really handy to have. And the rest is just, you know, OB2 connectors and adapters. This is a crank switch, so you can bypass the ignition switch and crank it from underneath the hood.
That thing seems like it'd be really handy.
Yeah. see, all these tools are handy. But anyway, spare fuses, spare relays, and we'll call that the end of that. And this is more of the diagnostic tools. This is a fan clutch tool kit. You put that on an air hammer, and you take the fan clutch off of any car. And this is a electronic torque wrench. It runs off a satellite. That's really handy to have. And this is the fuel injection tester kit for fuel pumps. And it's the master set. And it comes with everything you need to tell you if you got a bad fuel injector, a bad fuel pump, or any of that good stuff. Don't ask how much that costs, because I won't tell you.
At least not with me around, right?
Huh?
I said at least not with me around, right?
Right. And this is a rethreader kit from Mac, which is absolutely a lifesaver. It works on wheel studs, just about anything. It's the master kit. And then this is easy outs and more taps. I got common taps that I use, like, you know, random taps. These are mostly for exhaust studs, like especially these are for exhaust studs on Fords. They like to break, and Chevrolets. And then I got rivet guns. If you ever put window regulators in Fords, you need one of these. They put the big rivet in it. And then the small ones always handy. And then this is really good to get stuff out of stuff that you cannot get to. And of course, the magnet on a stick. And I'm trying to make this as short as possible, guys, because it's a lot. And then this is my random screwdriver drawer that is just random stuff that I don't have in my roll cart. This is for valve stems. And I use these for AC. Like this one is for AC. It's got a small valve stem tool and then a big valve stem tool. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's really handy. And then the little spy mirror that you can't see stuff. And then these are specialty tools. Those are really handy. And this, if you don't have one, it comes from Mac. This takes the rubber exhaust hangers off of cars, and if you don't have one, I highly suggest you get one, because all that fighting with the crowbar just is one squish and it's off. And this is for trailer bearings. Take the cap off, and that's for GM valves to do intake gaskets without even taking a bolt off. You just squish the valve down and take the lifters out. And the rest is just random stuff like snap-on hose clamps. You clamp fluids off so they don't spill. Seal drivers and seal pullers. And we'll move on. This is more random stuff like random bolts. And this is a inner tie rod tool for steering racks, which is really handy. And this is the ball joint press to change your ball joints. And then I got random air tools that I hardly ever use nowadays because everything's electric and battery powered. to the locker. All these are diagnostic tools. It would probably take 1,000,000 years to go through all of them. But, you know, like, for example, you know, radiator pressure tester. You check for leaks in radiators. And I got the snap-on radiator filler. You vacuum the system out, stick the hose in a bucket, and it fills it back up automatically. And then the rest of these are just pullers and, you know, stuff to take stuff off and put stuff on. And all the specialty tools for like timing chains, timing belts, you know, harmonic balancer pullers. And OTC is the best one to get for this. And I don't know if you've all ever seen this, but if you take this and you put it in here and stick it on your radiator, it'll tell you if you got a blown head gasket. It'll turn yellow. Really handy to have. And this is the radiator refill, no spill. I got 2 of those. And then this is all random, you know, slide hammer stuff, pickle fork, and you name it.
I think you dropped a bolt.
Yeah, that actually comes from up here. And then if you come over here, we got snap-on. And this is the bore scope. So you can pull a spark plug out and look at valves and see if they're bent or not.
So this is the digital scope we used on the Kia to be able to look down into the...
We seen that the valves were bent.
Yep.
Before I pulled the head off.
That was pretty cool because I gotta say, I've never seen the inside, that part of the engine before.
And if you ever do AC, I'm certified to do AC. This is an AC leak down test kit. It tells you, you know, if your AC, you put the dye in it, and if the AC is leaking, it will glow bright yellow. Really handy to have. And this is the MAC compression test kit to see how much compression you got in the cylinders. Can't live without this one. If you do any kind of mechanic work, you need to have it. And then this one is for oil pressure and transmission pressure, which is also a MAC. And it's got 1,000,001 things. Got the hoses and all your adapters and all your different gauges. Some are more, some are less. And it goes from engine oil to transmission pressure. And it even does hydraulic pressure, like on hydraulic pumps. And then you got the snap-on vacuum, AC vacuum. This is just random extra sockets. This is a MAC vacuum cleaner. When you do head gaskets or intake gaskets, it's really awesome to vacuum out the dirt so it don't drop into your engine. And then this is an evap tester and all the adapters. And this will show you where the evap leak is. All it is basically a smoke machine, and it blows smoke. You can actually tell if you got intake leaks, fuel leaks, any of that sort, it'll blow smoke at it. And then all these are transmission and fuel line disconnect tools that to put water in tires to make them heavier. And these are all the grenade pins I've done on timing kits. Gotta love that too. Done a lot of it. And this is for transmission line disconnects to take the transmission locks off the hoses. Gotta have those. And that's the snap-on master kit. And then the hammer drawer, fix-all is what I call them. Don't come off, hit it with a hammer.
Hammer time.
And this is my air hammer. And then my small snap-on impact. And my big snap-on impact. Snap-on light. And that's bright. And then the little trusty light. And it's made by Streamlight. Snap-on jump starter. Don't recommend it. Get a big one. And then we'll go over here. And this one I just keep random stuff in. Like, for example, all my punches, wire covers, that's the whole roll of it. And all my oil tanks and sockets. And that's for BMWs and Mercedes to take the oil filter off. That's the Toyota oil filter socket. And this thing, if you ever want a good one of these to take the oil filter off, go to Sears. This one's a Craftsman. Everyone breaks except for that one. And then that's just random hoses and all my fluids. And random stuff. And then this is all brake tools. That's a flaring tool. That's really handy. I bought this, y'all, at a flea market for 50 cents. And this thing is probably $600. They didn't even know what it was, but it's got rollers on it, and it's the best flaring tool you can get. It's made by Imperial.
So then in your expertise, you wouldn't say to a newer mechanic starting out that it's important to be brand specific or you have to pay high-end dollars to have the right tools?
No, but I suggest you get good ones. Because if you get them from the dollar store, they're not going to work.
Okay.
And these are snap-on brake caliper tools. All you do is take them in there and you ratchet them and you spread the caliper up. And you stick your new brake pads in and you stick them in there. It does away with the little C-clamp. And this one's for rear brakes. Sometimes you have to get small ones. I got two of these because sometimes when you do the front brakes on a car, you push one side and the other side's sitting there loose and you push the cylinder out and then you got a whole new problem on your hands. And these are brake spring tools. They're also snap-on. And this is another flare kit that I don't hardly ever use because I use this one instead.
So your 50-cent one you
the
prefer?
Best. Yes. And these are just random brake, adapters because I do a lot of brake stuff on rusty brake lines. And this is the spin type brake tool. You stick them there that they turn. You got to screw them in. They're usually on the rear brakes of cars. And this one is just random stuff. And then we'll go on this one. Random special tool stuff that I use and I save. And AC O-rings. Any O-rings I save that I don't use. And cotter pins, all that good jazz. And more AC stuff, some lug nuts, if you need some oil filter sockets I never use. And this is for bleeding brakes. You hook this up to an air compressor. You hook that up to the brake bleeder, pull the trigger, and it bleeds the brakes by itself. It's called a one-man brake bleeder. Looks really, really good. And then this is an empty door, guys. This is all my electrical stuff. This is a Mac cordless soldering gun, which, man, I've used this for 10 years and it works every time. Soldering gun, mini torch, My favorite Mac strippers. I like these two. And then my Mac crimpers. These two tools I use all the time. This is a relay puller. And we'll move on. This is my $1 million drawer. These are 3/8 impact, 1/4 inch impact, a spare 3/8 impact, screwdriver, grinder, buffer, ratchet, 1/4 inch ratchet. This one I've had for about 10 years. It needs to be fixed. And then this is the one I do timing belts and timing kits with. It's extended. You know, you can see how short it is, how long it is. It gets into tight spots. And you have to take a loan out if you want these. Random pencils and buffer grinder pads, random stuff, and power tools, drill doctor for drill bits, to sharpen drill bits, sawzall blade, and a sawzall, and a heat gun. You gotta have a heat gun. And then come over here to my everyday roll cart. This is what we push around and just about fix anything with. We got pry bars. See over here? Got pry bars, all sizes. Got the extension ratchets. We got a whole slew of ratchets, and then more sockets. These are 3/8, quarters, air gun, a big air gun, screwdrivers. And if y'all don't know what this is, it's a Mac pry little tool to get those little plastic rivets out of fenders and stuff. This is so handy. And then radiator hose screwdriver, the long Big Daddy. And then this is the mountain wrenches that everybody has, that everybody uses. Door clip tools, more little Mac plastic tools, and random screwdrivers. I just poke myself with that. Mac scrapers, I use these all the time for scraping gaskets off. And all these little picks, if you're a real mechanic, you need these. And I got the big set and the small set, and all the extensions. This is 1/4, and 3/8 extensions. And then all my everyday use pliers. I got a snap-on set, and I love my nip packs from Mac. These are so handy. They cost a lot of money, but they really work. They're better than channel lock, and channel lock is really good. And these tools get rubber hoses off, which is really handy to get rubber hoses off of intakes and stuff. And then my welder, my jacks, and my oil filter thing, and just random bolts and that. And that's about it, guys. And one other thing, if you ever come across a coil pack that has a busted boot and it's stuck down into the head on the spark plug, this is the way to go. You take a grinder, make teeth in it, you put it down there on a ratchet, and it eats the boot. Slap off the spark plug. It's a genius idea. My buddy Steve, from many years ago, taught me how to make one of those. And now they sell them on tool trucks. But at the time, they did not sell this on a tool truck. Thanks for watching, guys. This is my tools, and I run a shop, and I appreciate y'all watching.